Hey guys, Anal Tunes here, the African Mix Master, back in another tutorial. And today we are talking about something that is not so common, yet it is a secret weapon. I don't see very many people teach about it on YouTube. And this is what most professionals do when they're dealing with EQ. And I'm going to be using my Pro Q3 here as my EQ of choice. You can use any other EQ that has the ability of doing what we are going to look at. And first and foremost, please guys, click the link in the description, click the link in the bio, go and sign up for my amazing mastering course that I've called Secrets to Mastering Afrobeat Music. If you want to learn how to master your own records, just like the pros, feel free to click the link in the description or the link in the bio right now. Go and sign up. It's an amazing course. So let's dive right in. Today we're going to look at what I call dynamic EQ. And let's listen to a piece that I'm going to work with today. Here we go.
Awova ngatomanyi jogenda amaziga go obulumi bwo.
Right there. And you feel when you listen to that recording, it's kind of, it has a lot of the low mid frequencies. It's very, very boomy. So what someone would have done is maybe get an EQ, just like let me create another one here, and then deal with the frequencies that you hear that are boomy. So according to me, you see these frequencies, I'll just come right here, create a frequency point, and I'll cut, and then
ngatomanyi jogenda amaziga go.
or even maybe here. Right there, and I will have dealt with the problem. But there's something I hear or something that I feel. I feel this recording is losing the body. It's becoming a thin vocal, yet the artist wants to be outstanding. She wants her voice to sound full and complete. But remember, that's very tricky because if you take out the low mids, these ones here, the low mid frequencies right here, that simply means that these frequencies are out forever from this particular song. What I mean by that is that throughout the song, these frequencies have been cut out to this particular level here that you've used the EQ. And you find that in some parts, the vocal will sound so thin. So what do you do to maintain the lower mids, the lower fullness, but when the vocal is not boomy, what do you do? We introduce what we call dynamic EQ. And what is dynamic EQ? This is what it is. So I'll close this EQ here. In fact, let me turn it off. And I'll bring the original EQ that I used. So you notice here, we have small cuts. When you see this EQ right here, for example, when you see this frequency part here, I have a small cut. I didn't overcut. They're just quite small. This is a negative 2.8 dB cut. This is a negative 2. This is a 2 dB cut, you know. This is also a 2 dB cut. But if you realize when I was cutting using this one here, we have a 7 dB cut. Way too much cutting. We have a 5 dB cut. And here I have a 5 dB cut. Big, huge cuts, okay? In order to get rid of that boominess. But you realize we have a thin vocal. So what do? When you cut just a little bit of those particular frequencies, what you do now, using the Fab Pro EQ, so what do? So this is our EQ. Say this is how we've managed to get our EQ. And if I'm to play using this particular EQ, it sounds like this.
Ngatomanyi jogenda amaziga go obulumi bwo.
You realize we've gotten some cut out, some of that boominess out, but you feel it's still there. So what you do right now is you come, select the frequency point, and right click and say enable dynamics. Even these other points, you say enable dynamics right there. What does it do? This means that any frequency that comes up, that goes above the set value here, say here we have a negative 2 dB cut or a 2 dB cut, any value that that pushes above this frequency here, the EQ, the dynamic EQ, is going to push that frequency a little bit lower, and then when that frequency goes, it will let go of the recording. It will let go of the audio, meaning that it will only react beyond -2 if the boominess comes and goes above the frequency set here and goes above the level that we've set using this particular EQ here. I know it's a bit confusing, but if you rewatch it again and again, you'll understand it. So that's what we call dynamic EQ. And what does it mean by dynamics? It means that it works dynamically. So whenever the audio goes above the set value, it pushes it down below. By how much? That's determined by the value that you've set here, right here. So this acts like the range, meaning that it will push it down to this particular level here and not beyond this level. So if you want that recording, or if you want that frequency to be set down a little bit more, what you do is just pull these ranges a little bit down, okay? Which I don't want. I want it to be pulled down a little bit. So this is called dynamic EQ. It works more like a compressor, or it may act like more like a multi-band compressor, but this time it works with frequency points on an EQ. I hope this is not confusing to you guys. So with our EQ, this is how the recording sounds.
Awova ngatomanyi jogenda amaziga go.
You realize that every time that boominess comes, the dynamics kick in, and in those parts where it lets go, the dynamics also let go of that particular frequency, which means that we don't lose a lot of body. You only get rid of the extreme boominess in the recording. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.